Welcome to our video on October 2019 astrology forecast, including a full moon in the sign of Aries on the 13th and a new moon in the sign of Scorpio on the 28th of the month. Now, October's full moon is called a blood moon. Okay, a blood moon. Now, this particular blood moon is not the same as a blood moon that we talk about when there's a lunar eclipse that is also coinciding with a Hebrew special holiday. Okay, this is different. This is more of a hunting for hunters, the ancient hunting societies. This is for that kind of blood moon. It's different. So that doesn't mean there's lunar eclipse. There's not a lunar eclipse on this blood moon because it's a different kind of blood moon. It follows the harvest moon, and again, it's not a special holiday for the Hebrew calendar. Now, again, it's a blood moon. It's October's full moon is always going to be called a blood moon, and this is done by hunters and farmers and these kinds of societies, these ancient societies where hunting was very important, and very agricultural societies as well. Now, an October full moon lunar phase is ripe for hunters to complete their successful hunt, okay, and to be able to feed their families and their communities with fresh game. Now, moreover, we will incorporate planetary monthly ingresses and guardian archangelic forces. October 2019 guardian angels include elemental archangel Michael. That's elemental archangel Michael, okay, and Michael or Michael is the archangel for Aries the ram, which is a cardinal fire sign, and Michael is the elemental archangel of fire. Okay, and also another archangel that's important is Gabriel. The archangel Gabriel is the elemental archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is also the planetary archangel of the moon, but this is for the water aspect of Scorpio to Scorpion, which is a fixed water sign. Okay, a fixed water sign. Therefore, Gabriel not only is for the moon, but also for the fixed water Scorpio on the 28th, on the new moon. Okay, that's the new moon. So this is the elemental archangel for the fixed water. Now, we're also going to be giving you other kinds of key information. We're going to talk to you about horoscope houses, and also station changes, planetary ingresses, and also planetary aspects, and the formulas that go with planetary aspects, so you can know what's going to be going on this month, the important things, as well as Zodiac Angel predictions. Okay, so again, to just reiterate about the full moon, because it's important. Again, it's a blood moon. Okay, a blood moon in the sign of Aries the ram, and that's on the 13th. That's a full moon. It's a full moon. And again, this blood moon is because of the hunting, not a lunar eclipse. Okay, and the new moon is going to be in the sign of Scorpio the Scorpion on the 28th of the month. That's the new moon. And Scorpio to Scorpion on the 28th, again, the new moon. There's no special eclipses this month or anything like that. Alright, so this handles the full and new moon. We're going to get more into that in a minute here regarding the angels and the astrological aspects. Now, regarding the Archangel Michael, that's the elemental archangel for Aries, because it's a fire sign. Remember, we talked about Michael. The Merkaba field for Michael is this shape, is the Merkaba field for the Archangel of Fire, which is Michael. Okay, so that's for Aries the ram on the 13th. Also, for Gabriel, the elemental archangel Gabriel, for the new moon in Scorpio on the 28th, we have the Merkaba field. This is the one that is for the archangel, the elemental archangel of water, which is the Archangel Gabriel. All right, so that will be that for the Merkaba field. Remember, this is for Gabriel for Scorpio on the 28th. All right. Also for Aries, the Zodiac Angel for Aries is Melchidael, and the Zodiac Angel for Scorpio is Barchiel. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer. I'm a biblical astrologer, Christian psychic, and Gnostic mystic, and this is the Readings by Rosemary Angelic Transmission. Okay, now we're going to get into the October 2019 we're going to follow now the lunar phases for the planetary ingresses, the natural horoscope houses, the station changes, planetary aspects, elemental and planetary guardian archangels, and zodiac angels using Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, and we're going to give you some of the charts we've made that are, we call them fluid charts because they're not specific to one day. They are charts that I've made which are, I call them fluid charts because they're not for one day. They are for a snapshot of a few days. Like I have 3 charts that I've made. I have the first one for the 1st to the 7th of October, the second one from the 12th to the 15th of October, and I have a third one for the latter part of the month that goes to the 30th. I made another one here that I'll use later on. I'll put it up here in a minute. From the 21st to the 30th, we've got another chart there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also make the lights a little bit dimmer so you can see the chart just a little bit better. All right. I'm also going to bring it in a little closer for you here so you can see it a little bit better. All right. Okay. Now, also, when we get to the planetary aspects, and we give you the planetary formulas, which give you the sort of what is the sort of ambience or the atmosphere of the day, what's going to happen because of a certain formula of a certain planetary position in a certain house as opposed or conjunct or square or trine another planet in another sign or in the same sign. Those are made specific for days when I'm talking about it, and what I've drawn on the chart is specific for those days. But this is not all one day is what I'm trying to say. Now, also, we've also made a chart for Halloween, for All Hallows Eve, for what's called Samhain, the Wiccan festival of Samhain, which it's spelled the way it's spelled. It looks like you would pronounce it Samhain, but it's not really pronounced that way. At least that's not the way I was taught. I was taught that it's pronounced Samhain, but it doesn't really matter that much. But and that's on it's on Halloween, October 31st. So I've made a chart especially for October 31st, and the chart I've made is for 6 p.m. and I've used Greenwich Mean Time. And you can please see that video in order if you're planning any kind of parties or magic or anything for Halloween or All Hallows Eve or Samhain. Please see that video so you can make sure that your parties and your gatherings all go very well. Okay. Now, for October 3rd of 2019, we have Mercury here is going to be ingressing into the sign of Scorpio. So it's going to be in Scorpio on the 3rd, which is analogous to the natural 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt. Planetary Archangel Raphael, who's the Archangel of air, okay? Planetary Archangel Raphael is also it's a planetary Archangel of Mercury. And Raphael is also the elemental Archangel for air. Okay, so it has multiple facets, wears a lot of different hats. So here we're using it for Mercury, Planetary Archangel Mercury, Elemental Archangel of Air. And the Merkaba field for Raphael is this Merkaba field for air. And those of you who have done various magical circles in the Golden Dawn, that kind of thing, you'll recognize these kinds of shapes. All right. Now, we're going to now tell you the Zodiac Angel would be Barchiel. So Planetary Archangel Raphael would be visiting the dwelling of Zodiac Angel Barchiel, because if you have Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury, Raphael, Scorpio, Barchiel. So that will be an ingress on the 3rd. All right, now for October 4th, I'm going to get here the third fluid chart and place it about here so we can take a look at it. That way we can find all of the ingresses, because I made these for the planetary aspects is what I did. And I need to put them up now for the ingresses so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Oh, the ingresses, I didn't really put the ingresses on these charts. These are the aspects, but I can still use it to locate the planet in the specific zodiac sign. So for October 4th of 2019, we have Mars ingress the sign of Libra, the scales. Mars ingress Libra, which is akin to the natural 7th house of law and commitment. Planetary Seraphim Samael visits abode of Zodiac Angel Zuriel. So that's Samael for Mars, Zuriel for Libra. October 8th, 2019, Venus ingress Scorpio. So these planet Venus will be moving out of Libra and into Scorpio. So it'll be, see by here and here, it's in Scorpio. So earlier on in the month it's in Libra, and then it ingresses, it moves into Scorpio in these latter day charts. Okay, now for Venus and Scorpio, Venus is the Planetary Archangel Anael. And Scorpio is akin to the natural 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt. Now the Planetary Archangel Anael of Venus visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Barchiel. Zodiac Angel Barchiel is Scorpio. And Scorpio, again, here, and it's here, okay? So you can, when you find Venus in Scorpio, there. On the 13th of October, 2019, we have a full moon. And the full moon here, I placed it here, is in the sign of Aries, the ram. So on the 13th, October 13th, often an important day, a full moon in Aries, which is analogous to the natural first house of self and appearances. It's all about how somebody appears and all about the self. Planetary Archangel Gabriel visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Melchidael. So the Archangel Gabriel of the moon, Planetary Angel Gabriel, is going to be visiting the dwelling of Zodiac Angel of Aries, the ram. And again, Aries the ram here. And the Archangel of Aries is Melchidael. That's a Zodiac Angel. The Zodiac Angel Melchidael. Elemental Archangel for Aries is Guardian Archangel Michael, who presides over all the fire signs. So Michael presides over the fire signs, so that's the elemental archangel for Aries, because Aries is a cardinal fire sign. Okay, now October's full moon, we're going to talk about this just a moment here, because again, just to reiterate, it's not a lunar eclipse. This blood moon is different. It's not a Hebrew holiday necessarily. It could be, but it's not. You know, a blood moon's in that when it's used in that manner for the lunar eclipses, it has to be a lunar eclipse that falls on a total eclipse that falls on a holiday. Is usually an important Hebrew holiday is usually the direct meaning of it. But this is different. Again, this is for ancient societies where hunting was important. So again, October's full moon is called a blood moon by hunters. Every October full moon each year, especially in northern parts of the Americas, where when game is hunted and then cured for colder weather. As the colder weather progresses, they cure the meat so they can use it as it gets very, very cold, and things have to be preserved. Now, for this reason, October's full moon is also called Hunter's Moon by some cultures, and there's various cultures that call it blood moon, some call it Hunter's Moon. So for the same reason, though, the Hunter's Moon, the blood moon, is the same thing, just a little bit of a different. Some very similar cultures will have these slightly different names. I've chosen to call it a blood moon in last month's harvest moon in September. These are the full moons. Okay, so that's the blood moon on the 13th. Again, not an eclipse, not a lunar eclipse. All right, now October 23rd. October 23rd, the sun ingress Scorpio. So see here earlier, the sun's in Libra, and then see Libra here, and then the sun will ingress Scorpio later in the month here, because this chart's from the 21st to the 30th of the month. This is 1st to 7th. This one's 12th to 15th and 21 to 30th. So Sun in Scorpio. Okay, so the Sun will ingress the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is akin to the natural 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt. And the Planetary Archangel Michael visits abode of Zodiac Angel Barchiel. Why? Because Michael is not only the Archangel of fire, but he's also the Archangel who's the planetary angel of the Sun. Okay, Sun. Now, October 28th, we have a new moon here in the sign of Scorpio, which is similar to the natural 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt. Planetary Archangel Gabriel, who's the planetary archangel of the moon, visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Barchiel of Scorpio here. Okay? And elemental archangel for Scorpio is Guardian Archangel Gabriel also, who presides over all the water signs. So again, Michael and Gabriel often wear two hats, and Raphael does as well. Okay. Now we're going to get into the station changes. October 3rd, we have Pluto, the planet Pluto, here. Planet Pluto is turning direct. So earlier, before October 3rd, Pluto has been retrograde, but Pluto's turning direct while transiting through the sign of Capricorn on the 3rd of October 2019. Now, since Capricorn, the goat, has a divine tone of I use, Capricorn here, Pluto there. See, I have it retrograde here because this covers from the 1st to the 7th. But later on, see, Pluto's, then it shows direct here, okay, because of this on the 3rd. So again, since Capricorn, the goat, has a divine tone of I use, expect upheaval, rebellion, and revolution regarding long-standing regulations and controlling organizations or institutions to become more straightforward, more candid, especially when it comes to one's social status, popularity, and fame. Okay, because that's Capricorn issues. So this is about upheaval and rebellion because of Pluto, and revolution, although, you know, that's especially as it's direct, regarding long-standing regulations and controlling organizations and controlling institutions becoming more straightforward. So the rebellions are going to become straightforward against regulations in controlling organizations and controlling institutions. The rebellion is going to become more candid, more straightforward against the long-standing controlling organizations and institutions, and especially when it comes to what people should be, you know, considered to have a higher class or a higher status or a higher social standing or more popularity. So people are going to want to, you know, to have some of these organizations that are keeping them out of having a higher social standing or keeping them out of being popular. They're going to want to break through that so that they can also can enjoy the fruits of their labors. So that you can expect that to become more important on the 3rd. Now, October 31st, that's Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain. Mercury turns retrograde while transiting through the sign of Scorpio. Here. So Mercury again will be turning retrograde on the 31st on Halloween while transiting through the sign of Scorpio. Now, since Scorpio, the Scorpion, has a divine tone of I create, very creative. Expect difficulty with communication and transportation, especially when it comes to really vital and important matters, and especially important life matters such as birth, sex, death, and death. Okay, now we're going to talk about the planetary aspects for you, and that's what these charts that I've created for you are specifically going to be here referring to, what they're talking about. Now, October 1st, 2019, Venus in Libra. So this is the 1st of the 7th. So on October 1st, 2019, Venus in the sign of Libra, and it's going to be square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So on the red line, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn right there. Now, what this formula equals is romantic interludes that once were fair-minded and easygoing. You're going to square off, because of the square, against new rules to acquire higher social standing and greater popularity. Again, more about this. This is all because these are happening in Capricorn. And this is also this Pluto aspect, okay? That's why. That's the similarity there. On the 7th, we have Mercury in Scorpio, still on this chart. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, opposing Uranus, retrograde in Taurus here, this dark red line here. And that formula will equal vital messages about important life milestones, cause rivalry due to upheavals having to do with riches and properties. Okay, again, more about these kind of these Kuiper Belt planets, which are about these kinds of topics. Okay, now the Sun in Libra on the 7th, Sun in the sign of Libra, squares Saturn in Capricorn. Squares Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn there. And the formula, the answer for this formula, for this equation, is success in securing justice and fair play finds tension when it comes to people who desire adherence to the status quo regarding long-standing institutions and organizations, be they secular or religious. Okay, on the 12th of October, we have Venus in Scorpio. We're going to go to this chart. We have Venus in Scorpio, and that's going to be opposing Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Opposing Uranus retrograde in Taurus here on that dark red line. I'll have these charts up for you on my Readings by Rosemary Facebook page. If you want to see it more closely, then I'm trying to make it a little closer for you here, but so you can see it real clearly. So the answer for this formula will be that secret romances clash with upheavals in financial status. Secret romances, clandestine love interests, clash with upheavals in financial assets. Okay, on the 14th of October, we have the Sun in Libra. On the 14th, we have the Sun in Libra, square Pluto direct in Capricorn. So remember, Pluto's going direct in Capricorn on that red line. Okay, and the answer to this equation is victory in gaining equality frays nerves, makes people nervous when it comes to changes in social standing and fame. So when people do become more equal and they kind of break through the institutions and the organizations that have been stopping them from becoming higher social status or more popular, that's going to cause frayed nerves or nervousness, in the status quo. That makes sense, because people are going to become victorious in doing that. They're going to be able to break through. It doesn't have to be a violent thing, and it shouldn't be. It can be, but people, if they have a heads up on it and they understand that nobody really wants anything bad to happen, people just want equality. They want to be able to have their dreams and their goals, and they want to live their dreams and meet their goals, and and not be kept down just simply because of status quo or because that's the way it's always been. They're going to want a chance, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a violent thing, and again, it shouldn't be, because that's not going to help anybody. So it'd be good if people if the revolution can be with creativity, with speaking out, writing, creativity, art, not have it be actually hurting people, because that will be a reason. People that want to break through are actually not going to succeed if they do become violent, obviously, because they'll have to be confined if they're violent. So you're going to be able to raise to a higher status and gain more popularity if you just have some patience and simply use the new tools that are being given to you to attain those goals, because it's going to be possible now, and not doing bad behavior will get you there faster than doing bad behavior, and you can bank on that. All right, so now on the 15th, October 15th, still on this chart here, we have Mercury in Scorpio, here. Trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces on the blue line. Trine Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And that formula equals messaging about important and essential issues in life, benefits making dreams come true, especially regarding spiritual aspirations. So again, new ways to message and more people being able to communicate, and having this be about spiritual issues is going, and using spirituality to help and communication to help, will make these things we've talked about easier to attain. And again, Scorpio is very creative, so Mercury in Scorpio, that'll help a lot too. On the 21st of October, we're going to go to this chart now from the 21st to the 30th. October 21st, 2019, Venus in Scorpio. Here, Venus in Scorpio. Trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Trine on the blue line here. Trine Neptune here retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And that formula equals clandestine or secret romantic, interludes, prophet, inspiration, and sacred ritual. So it's sort of, you know, a lot of people want to have maybe clandestine groups. Doesn't have to be anything bad, but just clandestine groups are helpful to gain to gain inspiration for sacred rituals. You know, people want to form spiritual groups. Okay, so and of course in spiritual groups, just like when you go to church, you meet people that you have romances with. Same thing in spiritual groups, just the same thing. All right, now on October 27, 2019, Mars in Libra. Here, Mars in Libra squares Saturn in Capricorn. And Mars in Libra squares Saturn in Capricorn here on the red line. And that formula equals assertiveness in obtaining fair dealings, causes trepidation in those who want total obedience and adherence to ancient rites of passage. Okay? So let me say it again. Assertiveness in obtaining fair dealings causes anxiety or trepidation in those who want total obedience to ancient rites of passage. That's similar to what we said earlier. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be violent. You be assertive so you don't become aggressive. Assertive in a good way. Doesn't have to be pushy, just assertive. Say what you need. You don't have to, you know, get upset about it or push too far, or push people too far. No sense pushing people too far, you know. There's no sense that. You just put yourself out there and do what you want to do. You don't have to push other people. Okay. Now October 28th, 2019, the Sun in Scorpio. The Sun in Scorpio. Opposing on the dark red line, Uranus retrograde in Taurus. That formula equals great accomplishment in life's most significant and visceral objectives, conflicts with revolutionary ideals when it comes to distribution of funds, material goods, and properties. Let me say that one more time. Great accomplishment, victory in life's most significant and important goals, conflicts with revolutionary ideals when it comes to distribution of funds, material goods, and properties. So we have a lot of like the Ascended Masters are wanting to, Maitreya and Master Jesus want to distribute to everybody proper goods, material goods, proper funds, monies, properties, food, that kind of thing. And this being given out is going to cause some people to feel, you know, that this is something that's a revolutionary idea. But it is going to happen. That is going to happen. October 30th of 2019, Mercury, because there's plenty to go around now, because our technology has gotten us to the point where we can house everybody, and we can feed everybody, and we can make sure that everybody has proper, you know, what they need for at least to get proper basic health care. Everybody, really. We have enough technology now that everybody can have that. We really do. Because all these this talk about the financial world and all of this, with everything that's being said about what's being done, creating something out of nothing is what Kabbalah is all about, and what magic's all about, and what miracles are all about. It's about creating, how did creation come into being in the first place? Something out of nothing. And lot of very intelligent people, a lot of mathematicians have figured out how to do that. So it's not impossible. And it's time we let this earth become what it's supposed to be, which is a place where everyone can be happy and at least pursue their happiness. Okay, now October 30th of 2019, we have Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio here, conjunct, it's in the same house, Venus in Scorpio, same sign, Venus in Scorpio here. Now that formula equals the communication regarding vital personal concerns intensifies excitement and romance. So a lot of good communication will help the love life. Okay, now regarding the Hebrew calendar associations, okay, we're going to, about everything we've just talked about. The sun is called Shemesh. That will ingress into Scorpio called Akrab. The full moon, the moon is called Levana, the full moon called Keseh or Shabbat or Moshiach. In Aries, Aries is Tale in Hebrew. The new moon, again Levana. Okay, the moon is Levana, but the new moon is Rosh Chodesh, and in Scorpio, Akrab. Mercury, planet Mercury, is called Kokav or Kokab in Hebrew, and it ingresses Scorpio or Akrab. Venus, the planet Venus, is called Noga in Hebrew, ingress Scorpio. Scorpio is called Akrab. Mars is called Ma'adim, will ingress Libra. Libra is called Moznaim. Okay, Jupiter is called Zedek, no ingresses this month. Saturn called Shabbatai, no ingresses this month. Uranus is called Oron, no ingresses this month. Neptune's called Rahab, no ingresses this month. And Pluto, there's no Hebrew word for it, and there's no ingresses anyway this month. Okay, now keep in mind that achieving goals and accomplishing phenomenal success and victory through magical interventions are all possible if one knows when and whom to evoke. Now, magicians must also consider how various planetary and zodiacal angelic beings will interact with each other, making sure to invoke potent forces of light that will extend into facets of the Magi's life, predetermined by her or him for specific purposes tangential to true will. Magic must be taken seriously, since it is an ancient method of manifestation intended for practical victories over constricting forces which set our 3D reality, physical reality, into motion. Magic has rules just like any other science, which must be devotedly applied to practice. Magicians strive not to break natural laws, but rather to understand how Mother Nature manifests her creations so that we are all able to work in tandem with her. Information in this video and in the document attached to it is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. The information found in this document is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I've committed to memory. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again.